What's up guys? So today mag-unbox tayo ng bago nating Samsung 980 Pro M.2 SSD. So Gen 4 to, meaning kailangan natin ng compatible motherboard na Gen 4 din para ma-maximize natin yung speed ng drive na to. So meron siyang up to 7,000 megabytes or megabits per second na read speed, megabytes per second, yeah, na read speed, and uh, ito yung 1 terabyte variant kasi meron siyang I believe 250 gigabytes, 500 gigabytes, 1 terabyte, and yung 2 terabyte variant. Pero masyado nang mahal yun, so ito lang yung tinest natin or gagamitin natin. So ngayon naka M.2 na rin tayo as our desktop's boot drive, pero DRAM-less kasi yun. So ito is DRAM type na NVMe M.2 SSD. So tingnan natin yung packaging. Sealed naman siya, which is good. So actually ang ganda ng packaging niya, no? Pretty straightforward, pero nandun lahat ng information na kailangan natin. So kitang-kita naman na sealed siya. So in order ko nga pala tong drive na to online. Try na natin buksan. Tingnan natin kung anong meron sa loob ng packaging. So ito na yung pinaka hard drive niya. Ganda. Actually, yung ganda nung black finish ng PCB kasi ang linis tingnan, and also bagay na bagay sa mga modern builds and sa current motherboard natin na Aorus B550 Elite AX V2. Ganda ng matte finish niya sa PCB. Iba talaga gumawa ang Samsung. Kitang-kita mo sa labas pa lang yung quality, oh. Napakaliit, guys. Kita nyo ba yan? Halos kasing liit lang siya ng chiclet. Ng double mint gum. Alam nyo yan, yung chewing gum. Ganun lang siya kanipis. Imagine yung evolution ng storage sa ganito kanipis compare sa conventional na mechanical hard drive. Napakaliit. So check lang natin for any physical damage. Mukhang okay naman yung pins niya. Wala namang bent or wala namang damage sa pin contacts niya. As you can see, it says 980 Pro PCIe 4.0 M.2 SSD sa label niya. And then you'll find here all of the part number and the serial number. So 1 terabyte version yung i-install natin ngayon kasi ito lang yung pasok sa budget natin for our boot drive. So i-install natin to as boot drive ng Windows natin. So by the way guys, keep in mind na M key ang form factor nito kasi merong different form factors. There's B and M key or B and M key para sa much older M.2 SSDs, and then pagbago naman yung mga recent drives, usually M key na. So compatible na yon most of the time sa mga motherboards that was manufactured for the past maybe 2 to 4 years kung hindi ako nagkamali. Pero mas maganda i-check nyo na rin yung user manual ng motherboard nyo to be sure na M key siya para hindi kayo magkamali. So napakagaan niya, no? Ang liit, napaka-sleek ng design, and ang linis tingnan sa motherboard nyo. So kasi minsan may mga motherboard na walang included heatsink sa design ng board. Pero kung wala namang included heatsink, may mga nabibili naman kasi I believe mainit tong hard drive na to. So try na natin i-install. Ito na yung hard drive natin. So first things first, kailangan natin ng mga tools. We got the Phillips screwdriver. We got these precision screws. I just have the cheaper one, but it should do the work. Should be enough para sa gagawin natin. So once natanggal nyo na yung panel, dito ko siya ilalagay bale dyan sa taas kasi yan yung connected or controlled by the processor. So kailangan muna nating alisin tong video card para magkaroon tayo ng access kasi nakaharang yung video card and at the same time medyo tricky kasi ang mangyayari, papalitan natin yung current na boot drive na M.2 SSD naka-install dyan, which is the Cardea TeamElite from TeamElite T-Force Cardea 4L, I think, Z44L. So 1TB din yan pero DRAM-less siya, so just to maximize the speed of our components, tong Samsung DRAM type na SSD ang gagamitin natin kasi it makes a lot of difference when it comes to stability and durability ng SSDs. So yeah, kailangan nating alisin muna yan para magkaroon tayo ng access sa M.2 and then kailangan rin nating i-format and i-initialize yung drive. I'll show you later. Tatanggalin lang muna natin itong dalawang screws dito and then meron kasi akong gamit na anti-sag bracket. So we're just gonna have to remove the 8-pin PCIe cables and then alisin natin itong dalawang screws and then pwede natin luwagan yung anti-sag bracket para magkaroon tayo ng access sa lock ng video card and then just try to slowly pull it out from our system. So at this point nakalimutan kong alisin yung HDMI and DisplayPort cables, but that should be okay. Medyo tricky lang. So ngayon kailangan nating alisin tong heatsink sa second slot natin kasi itong nasa taas, this is controlled by the processor and then itong nasa baba is controlled by the chipset, which is the B550. So itong sa taas is running at Gen 4. So Gen 4 technology yung gamit niyan, while itong nasa baba is Gen 3. So be careful lang na wag mawala yung screws, no, kasi medyo maliit, mahirap maghanap ng kapalit niyan. So sa board natin, isang screw lang naman yung kailangan nating alisin and then just pull it out. That should do the trick. Nakikita nyo naman, pretty straightforward. So we're using the Cardea Z44L T-Force from TeamElite. 1TB din to na Gen 4 SSD pero hindi lang tayo napakaganda ng drive na to, no, pero for para i-prolong lang yung life ng components natin kaya yung DRAM type ang gagamitin natin and then we'll most probably we're gonna use this T-Force Cardea for as a scratch disk. So pwede natin install ng games or anything. So alisin lang natin to and then we're gonna replace it with the Samsung 980 Pro and then we're gonna go from there. But first things first, syempre kailangan muna nating i-install to dito sa Gen 3. So mind you guys, since Gen 3 to, hindi natin matatake advantage yung full potential ng 980 Pro SSD natin, but we're only doing this kasi kailangan muna nating i-initialize yung drive from our Windows operating system and then i-format natin and then i-clone natin yung existing OS or operating system natin. Gagamit tayo ng Samsung Magician tool. Papakita ko sa inyo later kung paano gamitin yon. So Yung sa akin, sa board ko, nandito na mismo yung screw nung M.2 slot. So, konting ingat lang kasi napakaliit at medyo sensitive yung screw para iwas loose thread. Then, pwede na nating ilagay yung 980 Pro natin. So, kasi ngayon wala pang laman tong 980 Pro na to, no, since bago lang siya. So, lahat ng operating system natin at files natin nasa Cardea. So, i-install muna natin dito sa Gen 3 slot yung Samsung 980 Pro natin. And then later on, once na na-clone na natin yung existing operating system natin from the T-Force Cardea to our Samsung 980 Pro, then pagpapalitin natin yung M.2. Itong 980 Pro ang ilalagay natin sa taas, and then yung T-Force Cardea ang ilalagay natin sa baba. Kasi again, as I mentioned earlier, yung nasa taas is controlled or managed by the processor, which is much faster. However, the one below is managed by the chipset, which is the B550 chipset. So, Gen 3 lang yung kayang i-manage nun. Up to Gen 3 lang yung speed na kaya niyang i-manage ng B550 chipset, while yung processor managed can maximize or take advantage of the Gen 4 speed. So, secure lang natin, no? Make sure na hindi siya maluwag kasi medyo nag-wiggle siya. Check lang natin. Okay, that looks good for both of the drives. Skip pala natin ng konti ito. Hindi ako kontento kasi may konti siyang wiggle. Actually, pwede naman na to, no? Medyo OC lang tayo. So, secure lang natin mabuti. Pero make sure wag masyadong masikip, no? Problema kapag na-loose thread yung screw. And make sure na to peel off yung cover, yung plastic cover sa likod ng heatsink para lumapat ang maayos yung thermal pads natin dun sa hard drive. So, medyo sakto lang. Apply nyo na ng konting pressure. Maramdaman nyo naman once na dumikit na kasi medyo may adhesive yung thermal pads ng heatsink nakasama dito sa motherboard natin. So, didikit naman yung kusa, and then just put in the screw ng heatsink to keep it in place. Like so. Ayos. So, pwede natin ibalik yung heatsink naman ng boot drive natin dito para sa T-Force Cardea. So, inalis ko lang para ipakita sa inyo kung ano yung current configuration natin and kung bakit natin ginagawa tong steps na to. So, bali next step, pwede na natin ibalik yung graphics card natin para makapag-boot na tayo back into Windows. Wala tayong integrated GPU, so kailangan talaga natin ng graphics card since 5800X yung processor natin. So, ibalik lang natin sa dati. Plug in the PCIe, 8-pin PCIe cables. So from here we can right click on the Windows icon or logo and then select disk management. So lalabas yung disk management window. From here, pwede na nating i-initialize yung drive. So papiliin lang tayo kung anong klaseng partition yung pipiliin natin. Just choose the second one for this instance. So, pwede tayong bumalik ngayon sa disk management window. And from here, refresh lang natin saglit. And then, from the disk management window, you should see now the unallocated space para sa bagong drive natin, which is this one here, the black labeled one. So just right click on it and then select new volume. Select new volume and then lalabas yung wizard. Leave it as it is para sa capacity, and then we just need to assign a drive letter. So at this point hindi masyadong nagmamatter kasi babaguhin rin naman natin yan later after cloning. But for now we'll just choose these and hit on next, and then pangalanan natin yung drive natin, just for us to be able to easily recognize the new drive. So let's just name it like so, and hit on next, and then that should be it. Now pwede natin buksan from this point yung Windows Explorer, and as you can see, ito na yung bago nating Samsung 980 Pro na drive. Detected na siya sa Windows Explorer kasi before, kung hindi natin yan in-initialize, hindi siya lalabas dyan sa Windows Explorer. So at this point, test ko lang kung kaya niyang mag-read and mag-write ng files, which looks to be okay. So that should be good. And then open lang tayo ng browser. So search lang natin yung brand and model ng SSD natin, which should be this one here, 980 Pro Samsung. And then hanapin natin yung tools and utilities. Usually nandito sa section na to yun. Tingnan natin. Let's see, your manual, drivers and software. They should be the one. Click lang natin yan. And then hanapin natin dito yung Samsung Magician, data migration. Yan Samsung Magician and data migration yung kailangan natin. Later pwede natin i-check kung up-to-date yung driver, pero pwede natin i-check yun from the software itself. Pwede natin i-update from there, pero I believe, this first one should, if I understand it correctly, it should install both the Samsung Magician software and the cloning tool. So download lang natin yan. Wait lang natin matapos yung download, and then pwede natin i-open para ma-install yung utilities. So again, dalawa na dapat to, no? Kung tama yung dinownload natin. This should already install the Samsung Magician for drives maintenance and everything, settings ng drive, pag-update ng firmware, and also yung cloning tool para i-clone natin yung existing OS natin sa bagong drive. Scan lang natin ng mabilis. Let's see here. Hindi, ito na pala siya. So run lang natin. Hinapi ko lang sa desktop, and then pretty straightforward. Next nyo lang sa installation, agree to the terms and conditions, hit next. Yep, next, and begin the installation process. So yun lang, sundan nyo lang yung wizard, napakadali lang sundan yan. May instructions naman So ini-install na yung drive, yun na yun, tapos na. And then try na natin i-run yung included software. Here we go. So ito yung data migration, ito yung cloning tool, and then ito yung Samsung Magician for drive maintenance and everything. Nakikita nyo dyan lahat, yung temps, yung specification ng drive, and then everything, pati yung settings, yung firmware, lahat ang dapat yung malaman dun sa about the SSD. So and then with all the serial numbers and everything, authentic yung na-receive natin na drive kasi nare-recognize siya ng software. Otherwise dito pa lang magkakaproblema na tayo. So from here, minimize lang muna natin yan. And then run natin, focus tayo dito sa data migration for the cloning process. So kita rito yung first option natin dito sa taas, ito yung Cardea, yung T-Force natin kung saan naka-install currently yung OS natin. So yan, nag-run na siya. So second is dito sa pangalawa, sa baba, piliin lang natin, make sure selected yung Samsung 980 Pro. So again, yung T-Force or yung current or old SSD nyo sa taas, and then yung bagong Samsung 980 Pro sa baba. Then from here we can now start the cloning process. So basahin nyo lang yung instructions. Madali lang yan. So as much as possible, i-disable nyo or stop nyo yung any unnecessary running processes in the background. Otherwise baka magkaroon ng issue at hindi sila makopy. So check nyo lang rito sa tasks if anything na kailangan nyong i-stop. Processes yung mga hindi nyo kailangan na tingin yung importante na makopy. So exit nyo lang rito or i-log off nyo or i-stop nyo yung tasks. In my case, everything should be good, and we just fast forwarded to the cloning process. We're done cloning. So right after hinit natin yung start, ayan na siya. Medyo kinat ko lang yung video, by the way guys, no, kasi medyo mahaba. It took maybe around 20 to 30 minutes para matapos yung cloning process. So reboot lang tayo into BIOS. So bakit natin gagawin yon? Well, at this point, shutdown pala muna natin kasi kailangan natin pagpalitin yung drive. So ang mangyayari, yung T-Force Cardea, yung old drive, ang ilalagay ko ngayon sa Gen 3, and then yung Samsung 980 Pro na ang nasa taas, as you can see. So mind you guys, yung T-Force Cardea Gen 4 din yan, pero okay lang naman na mag-run siya sa Gen 3 kasi hindi naman natin siya priority at this point. Hindi nga lang natin ma-maximize or matitake advantage yung Gen 4 speed niya. But that should be okay. So piliin lang natin here from the BIOS. Once you enter the BIOS, go to boot or go to the boot tab and make sure that the Samsung 980 Pro is set as the primary boot primary boot drive. So as you can see, it is set now as the primary boot drive. If you look on the left side, may mga boot options there. May mga numbers right beside that indicates the number or the order kung paano or kung anong maunang mag-boot, save configuration and exit. And once you boot back onto Windows, go back to the disk management tool. Confirm lang natin kasi iba pa yung pangalan nito, so kailangan pa nating i-rename. But at this point, everything should be good. Pwede na nating i-unplug or actually pwede nating alisin yung Cardea kung gusto nating gawing, kung may iba tayong paggagamitan. Pero gagawin nating scratch drive yon, so scratch disk. So we'll just leave it as it is. Pero check lang muna natin dito, open natin yung Samsung, may papakita ko sa inyo. Make sure that this option is enabled. So punta lang tayo sa drive properties and then make sure that this box is ticked. Yan, kita nyo yan? Para yan for a better performance ng drive natin. So check natin sa Samsung Magician software, everything should be detected. Iba lang yung pangalan guys, no? Kasi again, kinload natin yung Cardea. So lahat ultimong drive name, drive letter, ginaya. Pero i-reformat din natin yung Cardea later on. But just to prove and to test the capacity or the performance of the drive, check natin ito yung results niya sa Crystal Disk Mark. Tingnan nyo naman yung read and write speeds, 6,800 megabytes per second. So yeah, ang bilis niya. So guys, hanggang dito na lang tayo. I really hope may natutunan kayo kung paano mag-install and mag-clone ng drive ng existing operating system natin every time na mag-install tayo ng Samsung 980 Pro M.2 SSD. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Again, this is Raven. Adios.